Masonry is a corruption skateboard ready-made for his purposes. There's no difference with what Weishaupt did. He just put a name to it and he got caught. That's the only difference. That whole system, this what do you want to call it? A sleigh ride into hell, descent into hell, has always been in existence. It's just Masonry formalized it, categorized it, worked on it, perfected it, and then Weishaupt came along and said, well, now how do we just make them go a little faster? That's all he did.
The religion of Masonry, while often cloaked with Christian titles, is actually based upon the ancient mystery religion of Babylon and Egypt. These same mysteries govern the worship of Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. The mysteries are often symbolized by the all-seeing eye, sometimes called the Eye of God. But the God of Masonry is not the same as the God of the Bible. None was more adamant about this point than the man considered by many to be the most influential Mason of all time, Albert Pike.
Albert Pike was a Confederate Civil War general. He was the head of American Freemasonry in the post-Civil War period. He's certainly the most important American Mason. His book, Morals and Dogma, is required reading for every Freemason.
He says on page 624, the 28th degree, Teachings of the 28th Degree, he says, quote, Masonry is identical with the ancient mysteries. Okay? And then he goes on, he says, we reproduce the speculations of the philosophers, the Kabbalists, the mystiques, and the Gnostics, unquote. Well, these were all systems, religious systems, that worshipped Lucifer.
Pike probably mistakenly reveals his true intent because he speaks of Lucifer frequently.
When he says we are identical to all the mysteries, the mysteries were all brought under God's condemnation and destroyed at one point or another in history. From the Babylonian mysteries to the Egyptian mysteries to the peoples living in the land of Canaan, when the major reason God destroyed them, he ordered them to be killed, man and women and child, they were all worshiping Satan.
Now see, Masons distinguish between Lucifer and Satan. Masons believe that Lucifer is the light bearer, the good God, and that the Christian God is called Adonai, the evil God. They use as their justification that if the Christian God was a good God, then there wouldn't be this Garden of Eden problem where because you ate of the apple, now you have to suffer and you have to, the sweat of your brow, you have to make your living. Well, women have to give birth in pain, etc. No good father would do that to his children. So the Christian God is the evil God, where Lucifer is the good God because he'll give you everything you want. He'll fulfill your every desire.
In 1908, French occult expert Copin Albancelli wrote, certain Masonic societies exist which are satanic, not in the sense that the devil comes to preside at their meetings, but in that their initiates profess the cult of Lucifer. They adore him as the true God, and they are animated by an implacable hatred against the Christian God whom they declare to be an impostor. Perhaps Albert Pike's most famous and controversial quote is this one. The true and pure philosophic religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of Adonai. But Lucifer, God of light, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil. Because of this, occult author Edith Starr Miller wrote, Luciferian occultism controls Freemasonry. It is important to remember that the lower ranks of Masonry are largely unaware of the deception of their leaders. Master Mason Manly P. Hall, who said that when the Mason learns the mystery of his craft, the seething energies of Lucifer are in his hands, also made it clear that Freemasonry is a fraternity within a fraternity, an outer organization concealing an inner brotherhood of the elect. Meanwhile, Albert Pike wrote in his famous Morals and Dogma that symbols are displayed to the initiate, but he is intentionally misled by false interpretations. It is not intended that he shall understand them. but it is intended that he shall imagine that he shall understand them. Jesus said, I spoke openly to the world, and in secret have I said nothing. Nevertheless, secret societies, by their very nature, openly reject the example of Christ. As Albancelli wrote, it is professed in these societies that all that the Christian God commands is disagreeable to Lucifer. In consequence, one must do all that the Christian God forbids, and one must shun like fire all that he commands. Even to gain entrance into these societies, a man must violate the commandment of God. For the Lord has said, make no oath at all, either by heaven or by the earth, nor shall you make an oath by your head, but let your statement be yes, yes, or no, no. Anything more than these comes from the evil one. As we shall see, this rejection of God and his Son Jesus Christ has been the driving force behind the world revolution and the growing tide of tribulation that has afflicted mankind for more than 2 centuries. While Christ said, I spoke openly to the world, Albert Pike declared that Masonry conceals its secrets from all except the adepts and sages, or the elect. According to the Masonic Cyclopedia, an adept is a name given to the order of the Illuminati. With their common interest in Lucifer, secrecy, and a desire for world domination, we read that after lengthy negotiations between Weishaupt and members of Masonry, an agreement was reached on December 20th, 1781, to combine the 2 orders. A conscientious Mason named the Comte de Verrou, who attended this secret meeting at the Congress of Wilhelmsbad in Germany, later warned in his biography, saying, all this is very much more serious than you think. The conspiracy which is being woven is so well thought out that it will be impossible for the monarchy and the church to escape it. Despite the fears of the Comte de Verrou, the Word of God makes it clear that the gates of hell shall not prevail against the church. Yet we read that, according to his biographer, from that point forward, the Comte de Verrou could only speak of Freemasonry with horror. In the 1920s, historian Nesta Webster wrote of this conspiracy, saying, it was by this terrible and formidable sect that the gigantic plan of world revolution was worked out, a program hitherto unprecedented in the history of civilization. Communistic theories had been held by isolated thinkers or groups of thinkers since the days of Plato, but no one, as far as we know, had ever yet seriously proposed to destroy everything for which civilization stands. Moreover, the plan of Illuminism has continued up to the present.